Hello guys. Today I wanted to explore or try something that's been suggested to me, which basically revolves around commentating old matches, old GVG matches. And I've been thinking about that a lot, and recently some news has happened that makes it more doable. Is the comeback of Guild Wars Memorial? uh, with all the data that was needed for to make this happen in a more convenient way. So today I literally choose a match um, pretty randomly. Um, it's a match between a team called Team. So we have so this is a 2010 match, January 2010. So like nearly a 2009 match basically. So having played at that period of the game, I know a lot of the players that I'm seeing. Um, we can see Infernal Mimi. I think Trooper rings a bell. I think the Monks ring a bell. We have Smokey that ended up playing for a long, long time after that. At that time, he was not really, um, how do I say, successful. Like he wasn't as successful as he has became a few years later, I think. And then on the sub side, so sub like we can consider sub to be a legendary guild. It's a guild that's been around for a long, long time at that period. So it's already been like probably 2, maybe 3 years that they've been around with really successful resume. I think at that point they had already won a gold cape. They had a lot of good finishes in MAT. They trusted the top leaderboards of the ladder multiple times. Uh, really a really good guild overall, legendary guild. If I would have to name 5 guilds maybe after the 2006 era of the War Machine and stuff, if I had to name 5, Sub would be in them. Uh, that's a pretty that's a pretty bizarre sub lineup because a lot of the core roster had already quit, I would say, but still we can see core members such as I think Silent and Rampage was Candy Girl. We have Spank Tank. He wasn't really core sub, but played a lot there. And this guy, I'm not sure who it was. I think maybe it was Opet, but I'm not sure. And he wasn't a core either. But that's all. Like all of these players, I've played in and off, or rather, should I say, on and off in sub at certain period of the guild. So really, I would say this was a high-profile match in 2010, probably among the top guilds, the favorite guilds, kinda. It was played on Deads. We're gonna look over at the builds quickly. Uh, you guys have to understand if you're watching this in 2021, which you cannot be watching this before. Um, the skills have changed. Okay, the skills that these guys were playing weren't the same, or at least not all of them. So there was balance into the game added after that match. So a lot of what you're gonna see is different now on a purely skills matter. Of course, the game evolved, the player, the meta, and probably the level, but the skills were also different. So on the side of team, you have a double warrior, as you can see on SUP as well. It wasn't too much of a dervish metagame, not as we know it by now. So it was a 2 warrior, one of which is Walling Axe with Conjure. So pretty big change from today's, because today you would rarely see a warrior with Conjure because it would get stripped in most meta games almost all the time, and it will almost be a dead slot. But back in the days, as you can see, the enemy team has like 2 strips, which could be enough, but if you're gonna use them to remove the Conjure, you're not gonna use them to remove the Guardian. So all in all, maybe a good trade. So you have a Walling Axe warrior with Conjure. Pretty standout bar, apart from the fact that he's playing Walling Axe with Conjure. Um, why Walling Axe? I have no idea. I would say maybe to remove the balanced stance, like for the most part. Maybe to kill the Ranger as well. They don't have a wild throw, it seems. So, oh, no, they do have a wild throw. So they have actually 2 stance remove. So I'm not sure exactly why he's playing Whirling Axe. Maybe it's to collapse the Ranger. I'm not sure. You have Mage Hunter. So in this build, I would say it makes sense because you have 2 Paragons, one of which is a stance remove Paragon. So it's good to have a warrior that can knock people off. Undead, not the best thing, but can work. A standard Ranger. The bar hasn't evolved a lot in 11 years, as you can see. Just the Unguent not being there, but you can see this guy has Unguent. A Cruel Spear Paragon. I think pretty standard Anthem of Envy because they're playing 2 Paragons. A Power is Yours for the energy. Um, and with Rend, because yeah, as you can see, that's the only strip. So that's a pretty risky build. Like Rend being the only strip um, is pretty scary. Because if you have Guardians being spammed, yeah. Like if I could, from my knowledge today, of course, it wouldn't be as easy back in the days. But if I had to criticize this build, for example, it's a really 8v8 heavy build, um, in which you put a Melendrus Shot Ranger that doesn't have Unguents, meaning you want something that has movement control, but you're not giving all the tools necessary to your Ranger, and at the same time, why have movement control if you're gonna have such a static build, you know? So I would say it's not a well thought build. It's definitely a scary build. You can build pressure and literally destroy the opponent in less than 4 minutes, but the build overall wouldn't make too much sense to my eyes. And then you have 2 monks, one of which is Restore, the other is Wall of Healing. Of course, back in the days, Healing Burst wasn't as good. The Aegis was the old Aegis, so it's a party-wide enchant that makes everyone um, spells and attacks miss by I think 50%, but maybe I'm wrong about the version of that Aegis, but we can see the prot has it too. Pretty standard Word of Healing. I think you could compare it to today's bursts for almost pound for pound with the elite. All the rest is pretty standard. And then a ritualist because back in the days these were a thing. Offering of Spirit, I wouldn't say this always has been a thing, if any, not when I was playing at least. With the standard life, recovery wasn't such a thing when I was playing, but I guess it's a good alternative to um, the big one, the 25 that gives life regen. I don't remember the name. It's a good alternative to poison, which you can see the enemy has. And on the sub side, we have Primal Rage Warrior, so excellent skill, really pressure heavy. You're in Frenzy though, so you might want to be careful. That's a really good build with D-Chop. Um, Eviscerate, Conjure, again, the same comments, but at least this time he's not gonna get stripped, so he's gonna have a good time. Um, Poison Burning Arrow with Unguent, P-Block Mesmer, some kind of hybrid support midliner with LOD and some smite stuff. So these were really popular in the game. I think from like 2008 to 2000 and maybe 10. These were nerfed multiple times here and there, but overall always usable. And two monks, Tendard, pretty much the same monks with ritualists, same as this one, but with different elites. This guy is a bit more about movements, and he has recuperation, so that's what it's called, recovery recuperation. So if I had to commend this build, to my eyes, is a better thought build. It's better at speeding. It's better at pushing. Not really at pushing, but it's better at. I think it's better tactically. It's a better tactical build because you have a really capable ranger that can handle himself in solo, and that has no pound for pound answer. And if this guy had a snare, then I would be like, yeah, okay, you can snare the ranger and collapse him with a walling axe warrior, and then that would be good. That could be a game plan. But that's not the case. This is the guy that has the icy shackles. So this is the team that can actually collapse that ranger, even though they don't have stance remove. So overall, I prefer this build. I think LOD Monk is a direct counter to Poison too, because no complicate. There was no complicate at that time, so you don't get rupted on your Poison basically, unless the other ranger is trying to, which wasn't so popular back in the days. So Poison is gonna get off, and you should see Poison spread, but you have ways to counter it, such as life, recovery, Kaolai, recuperation, Kaolai, LOD. You have ways to work around it. So we're gonna jump into the game. I hope this is the downside of casting a game from a replay, is that I don't control the camera, which is a bit annoying. But we're gonna try to make do with what we have, and this is experimental anyway, so I'm gonna have to see how good it is in the end. So let's go into it. I hope the sound is gonna be good for you, because I know I don't hear the sound the same as you guys do. If it's too loud or too or not loud enough, then I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to fix that in the future. So we have Sup going for the upper side, and I think Team was going for the upper side too. We can already see that Sup is not waiting for a second flag, which is really questionable with the build, and so is not Team. You can expect, don't get me wrong, guys, you can expect to see the stuff that. Oh, that's a cool high five moment. You can expect to have moments where I'm gonna be heavily bashing on the teams for being not playing proper strategy, and this is either because there's some variables I don't have, or because they're just not playing good tactically. Most likely the case. So we see the Ranger of Sup already going into split. That's the Burning Arrow Unguent Ranger that we talked about. 7 Monk picks up the flag, really bad obviously. But look, that's a problem in their build. Who holds the flag? Alright, so I'm gonna pause because I have the luxury to. This guy is about to die. First weakness of the build that I didn't mention. If 8 has to go, who holds the flag? Nobody. This guy needs a spear. This guy needs a spear. This guy needs... they all need their one martial weapon. So this is why 7 has been holding it. And trust me, if your 8 is actually answering to split, and you only have 2 monk at main, you don't want your 7 to hold the flag. And no, we're gonna maybe see their number 2 die because simply for the fact that 7 is like handling the flag in the back, which is really bad. And see, number 2 goes away. And I think that the sole reason for that is because 7 has had to deal with the flag, which is really bad. Um, we can see blue caps the shrine, but I'm not sure why. Why would they do that? Makes no sense because as I just mentioned, having the flag for a team is just actually bad for them. So I think they were gonna cap themselves. So blue caps for no reason. So they're gonna have to go run another one. The ranger, we can see the ranger splitting already. So already the first wizardry of tactics going on. Team having a bad tactical builds and see themselves having problem with the flag. And sub capping the flag for no reason, basically. I think the blue ranger is already splitting and the red ranger is also splitting. So it's basically spikes builds on both sides, kinda. They're gonna kill off spikes most of the time, especially for sub because their ranger is splitting. So if they don't have poison, the mesmer is not gonna hit any P blocks, or rather, he shouldn't. Shame coming up. Apparently was clicked instantly. Oh, we already have the Lord taking damage for team, so I guess the team is defending the Lords from the Ranger. So basically, team doesn't have a ritualist anymore. Team doesn't have a ritualist anymore, and sub doesn't have a ranger anymore. It would be good to see what the ranger of team is doing. They're blocking the shrine, which is not bad, because remember, no dervishes, no dervishes, no AOE basically, no E surge, nothing basically. They have no. Maybe they have one of the signet. I'm not even sure. But it's not, don't get me wrong, it's not a free body block, it's a risky body block, but it's a doable body block. I think 6 got P block though. So 2, okay, 2 survives. Okay, red already blocked, already boosted. You remember when the flagger of sub flagged first? That was a mistake, remember? And see, already giving up a boost because he shouldn't have flagged first. Team eventually dies from the block. I don't know why they kept body blocking even though they had the boost. Maybe because they don't have a flag. Not a bad spot for not a good spot for team. Okay, they had the boost, but it's not a good spot because now they have to run a flag and they die, and they will lose all positioning. Yeah, that's pretty bad. And blue is winning on low damage too. 2 is gonna run the flag as a warrior with enraging charge, so not optimal at all. It would be good to see number 8 of blue, but I guess he's already grabbing another flag. I would even say maybe he's on his way to get to bring the flag, so they're gonna have a full flag ahead. Not much happening right now. I think number 2 is coming up with the flag, but so is number 8 from Sup. So Sup is already in a really good spot. See, like, because team cannot even hold the flag for 40 seconds. The guy has to flag it because nobody can hold it for him. And if he holds it, there's no points. So he's gonna flag straight away. Blue is gonna flag over instantly. And red is in a lot of trouble. They have pretty bad positioning right now. Probably gonna die. The monks cannot survive this eternally. against a Mesmer and only 2 monks. Yeah, they're taking deaths on monks. Pretty low. They must be low on mana too. And they have a P block Mesmer watching them. We can see team is putting back some pressure though, but no, it's either a 7 versus 7 with sub permanently boosting, or it's gonna be a 7 versus 6 for a while. Number 2 dies again. I think that's the second death. Might be the third, I'm not sure. I would say the second. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think that's the second death. And the wars are dying. The wars dying is not a good thing because the number 5 of Sup, Trunks, is playing a Smite build, and Smite usually do a lot of damage to wars because it's damage ignoring, plus the Signet that does more damage for each Adrenaline skill you have, so this guy is really happy to spike on warriors, or actually Paragon for that matter. So yeah, not a good not a good time for team. Getting outplayed mostly by their build right now. They're getting outbuilded, outplayed tactically, even though Sub made a big mistake with the flag at the beginning. So they're gonna push the Ranger up now, but it's not a big deal because they're permanently boosting. They don't have a backup flag. What is happening there? Why are 2 warriors chasing the Ranger? That's so weird. This is the weirdest. I'm not sure what's happening. It's like they gave up or something. Alright, sure. Oh, alright. No idea what's happening. Why would the 2 warriors split? Also, with only a ritualist that seemed to be late. This guy is gonna die. He's dodging the burning arrow, but yeah, he's gonna die. He's gonna be 45. Uh, Probably like number 1 actually. Number 1 is probably 30'd. The ritualist died again. Like, not again, but the ritualist died there because he was left with no help. I think they're gonna time number 2 and 45 him. Yeah, this guy is definitely timed. So well played from Sub there. Really doing a good job. He's gonna get snared to death and killed after time. Oh, okay. And basically team gave up. Really fast concede, to be honest. Not concede. Really fast resign. Um, Probably tilted a bit over the loss. Sorry for that. But yeah, overall, Sup won like you would expect they could win. They won tactically, even though they made some mistake. Pretty bad build decision from team. Pretty bad execution as well. Uh, Overall, deserved the loss, if I can say like that. Um, that was it for the test. Tell me, tell me in the comments or tell me in private, what do you think about these casts? If you think they're relevant, if you think they're nice to have to be casting whole matches like that. Tell me if you think it's even worth doing with me not being able to actually control the camera. And yeah, thank you for watching. And maybe see you another time. Peace.